We are in the southern countryside of Verona, on the outskirts of a small village surrounded by orchards and cultivated fields. We are in a fully agricultural area, and it is here that a young couple wants to build their new home. Arriving in front of the entrance, the main facade is intentionally closed. It's almost a barrier against the road and the external area. Once you cross the entrance threshold, the interior spaces of the house become immediately clear. As soon as you enter, you perceive the entire space of the internal patio, the whole living area, and the entire corridor that gives access to the various service areas of the night zone. The kitchen, with its full height modules, organizes the space. The first module is a double module open to the dining area that also maintains alignment with the only double height we have in the house, which is the double height that allows the glass of the front triangle to bring light to the entire work surface of the kitchen. In fact, the kitchen doesn't have tall wall units precisely to allow the light to fall on the work surface. There is only a shelf with a support structure, all made of quartz. The central element of the living area is the kitchen, which is carved out within the entire open space, also thanks to the change of flooring material. In fact, a ceramic floor with a color that contrasts with the lacquered elements of the kitchen aligns with the tall modules and enhances the feeling of entering a space that is almost sectioned within the living area. The central element is a square of 180 by 180 that creates a dualism with the round table, also with a diameter of 180, and these two pure forms interact together and animate the area most used by the clients, especially when they invite family or friends. Since they are very passionate about cooking, it's the most lived-in area of the house. One of the fundamental features of the interior is the roof structure. The roof is made of wood, but the most interesting thing about it is that it adopts the typical wooden roof style of country houses in the area, but in a more modern version. In fact, it transitions from the typical 60 centimeters spacing between beams to this element. A paired double beam that allows for a much wider spacing of about 180 centimeters between structural elements. On this spacing, the three large openings facing the patio in the living area are arranged, as well as the internal spaces. In fact, there are no separating walls between the dining area, the kitchen, and the living room. The tall elements of the kitchen also serve as separation and passage to the living room area. Once past these elements, I find myself in a final area of the living zone, a resting area, and when I sit on the sofa or the armchairs, I always have a view of all the elements of the house. To my left, I see the patio through the glass window, the fireplace. So in winter, I have the patio, the fireplace, the television, and the only window that faces the entrance area. Walking through the service elements from the corridor, at the beginning by the entrance, we find a small wardrobe with a shoe rack and lacquered MDF panels that hide the first technical area. And at the end, there's a small bathroom for the living area with a bowl sink. Continuing, we have the study, which is the area closest to the living area of the house. At the end of the corridor, we find the master bedroom where the bed is placed in front of a sliding glass window that overlooks the patio. Passing by going towards the bathroom of the night area, there's the whole wardrobe and then entering. The peculiarity of the night area bathroom is this back wall covered with diamond subway tiles that lit from above give an interesting three-dimensional effect along with their color. The interesting thing about this patio is that upon entering, you immediately notice a detail that wasn't perceived from the living area. The west wall that divides the driveway has slots of about 15 centimeters between each column, which not only give rhythm to this long element, but also allow air to circulate within the patio. The entire house is made with concrete poured into forms lined with OSB. The effect generated, besides the chiaroscuro pattern given by the wood chip panels, is also one of warmth, because the wood leaves this yellow, warm hue on the neutral surface of the concrete. The interesting thing about this finish is that it reduces the weight of the concrete, as it is perceived much more like a natural surface, almost like stone, and this mimetic effect that is generated works very well in contrast with the plants and alongside the plants in an environment so immersed in greenery. The material we used for all the exterior floors is a local stone, the white prawn stone from Verona. While we were laying this stone outside, we realized that on the back it had a much rougher finish, a finish that is called saw split. And in the end, when we had a few slabs of stone left, we used them to cover the fireplace and give it a distinctive character in the living room area. The covered porch is a very pleasant area, especially in summer, because as happens in more Mediterranean or Australian architectures, for example, it is an area called a breezeway, where the breeze channels and brings in all the air, which then passes over the water surface and brings a bit of coolness inside the patio. The most interesting detail of the pool, besides its alignment with the covered porch, is this detail of the edge and the overflow of the water. The edge stones are actually laid dry on pedestals also made of stone, and the effect achieved, especially when looking at the south wall, is an effect of lightness. The entire sunbathing area, the part most exposed to the sun, seems almost to float above the water. It was important to provide a background to the view of this patio, so the idea was to keep the central part completely free, just with grass, and then to essentially animate these two flower beds running along the entire perimeter of the patio with a varied, but I'd say very tropical composition. And the idea is that within this courtyard, there is the effect of a sort of oasis of peace and escape from everyday life.